Palestine, a country of variety and contrast, where the glories of the kingdoms of David and of Solomon, the life and passion of Christ, and the coming of the prophet still can light a fire in the minds of men as events of only yesterday. A country as diverse in population as in its landscapes, where naked hills and barren deserts rub shoulders with smiling fertile plains. Palestine is tiny, yet full of surprises. The ancient port of Acre is almost unchanged since the days when it was occupied by Richard Lionheart and his crusading knights. In sharp contrast is Haifa, largest port and industrial city. The Arab peasant is a born farmer. Conservative in their ways, some Arabs farm their land today in much the same way as their biblical forebears did, although more and more are adopting modern methods of agriculture. In the Holy Land today, there are some million Arabs and 500,000 Jews. The Palestine climate is always dependable during summer and early autumn. The fear of bad weather, which is the English farmer's constant companion, doesn't worry this young Arab separating the grain with his primitive machine. "700 feet below sea level lies the Sea of Galilee, or Lake Tiberias as it's called nowadays. It's a most popular autumn and winter resort away from the cold uplands of Jerusalem. Here on the shores of Galilee are men from a Jewish colony using modern farming equipment. The Jewish cultivators live and work together, as a rule in settlements, with a highly organized communal life. Tel Aviv, startling new all-Jewish city, built in less than 25 years. Where deserted sand dunes once stood, a fine promenade and bathing beach fronts an entirely European-type city of smart shops, flats, cinemas, hotels and factories. Almost incredible is the contrast between Tel Aviv's ultramodernity and the biblical atmosphere of the lovely old Arab town of Nazareth, sacred to the memory of our Lord, and the peace and tranquility of Bethlehem, scene of the Nativity. The famous bells of Bethlehem, which yearly ring out their Christmas message to the world. Contrary to popular belief, Palestine is not a large country. It is indeed no bigger than Wales. From the heights of Judea, all the frontiers of the Holy Land are clearly visible. Thus, from Bethlehem of the Nativity to Jerusalem of the Crucifixion is only 7 miles. From the Mount of Olives, we look down upon the Holy City. In the foreground, the wonderful Mosque of Omar, standing on the site of Solomon's Temple. This is Jerusalem, sacred alike to Christian, Muslim and Jew. 3 main lines of faith meet here before spreading out to the ends of the earth. Outside the old city wall has grown up a new town of many fine buildings, with well-designed suburbs spreading over the ancient hills. Yet, the real Jerusalem lies within the wall, unchanging, ageless. The ramparts of David's Tower, built on the foundation of Herod's citadel, frown down upon the Jaffa Gate, busiest of the 7 gates that pierce the great encircling wall of the old city. The tide of life flows through the narrow lanes in an endless stream of jostling, picturesque humanity. Merchants sell their wares in open booths with much bargaining. Food is sold by vendors on the open street, and here a lemonade seller pours a cooling drink for a thirsty customer. An elderly Jew passes by, now a Christian priest, and close by an Arab sheikh, a young Jew with long side curls distinguishing his particular sect, 2 nuns from a nearby convent, peasant women with beautifully embroidered bodices. A dignified Arab, full of years, rubs shoulders with the young Arab farmer from the hills. The security of this bewildering variety of peoples is in the hands of a highly efficient police force. Here in this typical urban police station are 2 of its members. They're of different race, one British, the other Palestinian. This is characteristic of the force, composed as it is of British, Arab and Jewish police. Policemen in Palestine, as in England, have a reputation for courtesy and helpfulness. Radio patrol vans are used by the police extensively. Racial clashes, armed robbery, terrorist activities of political extremists, all of these things are possible in Palestine and need swift action for effective enforcement of law and order. The Palestine Mobile Force is designed to act as a reserve to normal police dispositions, thus providing a weapon for suppressing serious disorder in its initial stages. During the war, the normal police marine contraband duties were extended to coastal defense. Yes, these are policemen with RNVR ranks. An armed police launch sets out on patrol from Haifa across the bay towards the old Crusader town of Acre. From the salt Mediterranean to the placid fresh waters of Lake Tiberias. Here on Galilee, the Marine Police have to guard against smugglers and illegal entry into Palestine from the frontier across the lake. Another of their tasks is to check the nets of Galilee fishermen. The lake would soon be cleared of fish if the law didn't regulate the size of nets. From his benign expression, this old fisherman happens to be on the right side of the law. On special occasions, the Palestine Police show what they can do in the way of a big parade. This is such an occasion, the King's birthday, and Lord Gort, the High Commissioner, chose it as fitting to present many medals for gallantry and distinguished service awarded to officers and men of the force. It's a proud day for the individuals concerned, and indeed for the whole force, and their bearing plainly shows it as the detachments move past the High Commissioner. Here are represented all the many branches of Palestine's police force. We have caught brief glimpses of these men at their everyday jobs, jobs for which they must be alert, tough, versatile, whether in the saddle or on foot, in town or desert, ashore or afloat. Here, British and Palestinian work side by side to keep watch and ward over the Holy Land. Where only yesterday the show of pomp and circumstance thrilled the watching crowds, a British constable and a Palestinian patrol their beat together. They are doing the job which is the very foundation of all police work, the day-to-day guarding of the peace and security of the ordinary citizen.